you know, you coming from St. Louis, you definitely mentioned that. And we already know how, how tough it can be to maneuver and come out of this region, bro. So how did you link up to even get into that celebrity atmosphere? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
How did that come about, bro?
so so when I first got out here, I was working there. I ended up working at Walgreens. I'm stocking and sweeping up.
Hustle shit. All
Folks
right.
ain't even calling me Skip no more. It was like I'm Jason. You know what I'm saying? Jason, we need sweep up on aisle 5 type shit. It was like God took me away from what I was comfortable with and like put me in a space where it was like I was back down to the basics of who I am. And it was kind of reminding me of like it's just me and God out here. So what you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a breaking down and building back up. So in the midst of me doing that, I was like, man, I want to like do something because I was just going to work and I was just going to Walgreens and going to the crib, going to Walgreens. I was like, I didn't come all the way out here to just be working in the Walgreens. What's going
Facts.
on? So, man, I had a down moment, you know what I'm saying? Where I was, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, man, it was a whole other thing, man. But I was like visited by like an evil spirit. And after that incident had happened, I remember I pulled out the Bible and I said, God, you know what I'm saying? Like, protect me, you know what I'm saying? Like, guide me, protect me from whatever this energy. Because coming out to
That's
LA,
real.
man, they call it the land of the angels, man, but it's also the land of the demons too.
That's a fact.
So you got to come out here and be fully protected, you know what I'm saying, spiritually. And so anyway, the spirit spoke to me, man. I'm very spiritual, you know what I'm saying? So the spirit spoke to me and said, send your resume out to these entertainment companies. So this was like the beginning of where you make a monthly payment of getting access to like entertainment companies.
Got you. Yeah.
So I paid that. And so I went on there and I was sending my resume out, you know what I'm saying? Like 50, I sent 50 resumes. I said, I'm gonna send these 50 resumes out. And then the spirit spoke to me and said, whatever one hits you back, that's the one you go to. And I sent 50 resumes out and one person hit me back. And it was a lady that worked in North, it was in North Hollywood and no, Sherman Oaks. And she was a lady who had an entertainment blog company. So I hit her up. And so when I worked at Walgreens, I worked a week and then I would be off a week. So I hit her up and told her, hey, I want to know, can I come through there and intern with you? And she was like, I went over to her crib and she interviewed me. She said, yeah. So when you don't work at Walgreens and you basically come here and then you'll intern with me for the week and then you go back. So I did that for 3 months. Man, they got to the point of doing that for 3 months. I was like, man, what am I? I'll never forget the day, man. I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to do something dealing with entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Whether at the time it was blogging. So anyway, as I was leaving her place one night, I busted a left on Ventura Boulevard, and as I looked to my right, I see a barbershop. Keep in mind, this is like February, so it gets dark early. So as I bust that left and I look to my right, I see the light on inside of a barbershop, and I see black people in there. I see black barbers in there, and I notice everyone's dressed with dress shirts and ties, and I see somebody in there sweeping, and I'm like, damn, it's a black barbershop over here. I was like, you know what? The next time I come back over here, when I leave and that light is on, I'm gonna pull over. Boom, a week goes by, I come back, I intern with that day, I leave, I go hit that left, look at that right, the light is on again. I said, all right, fuck it. Boom, pulled over, got out the car, went up in there. I asked one of the barbers, I said, yeah, is the owner here? He said, nah, he's not here. He was like, but I'll give you a card or whatever, his card. So he gave me his card. I went to the crib, I hit him up. I said, hey man, yeah, my name's Skip. I saw your barbershop, want to know if I can like come in there and woo woo. And he was like, well, can you cut? I was all like, yeah, I can cut. He was like, well, come in tomorrow, bring your clippers, I'm gonna see what you do. I was like, all right, bet. The next day I come in there, As soon as I walk in, I see Faison Love sitting on the couch.
Damn. All right.
Chilling.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
like,
go.
damn, big worm. I'm like, what?
Right.
He in there talking to the owner and shit. So he's like, what's up, man? So the owner's like, what's up, man? His name's Twain. I said, can't call him, man. He said, yeah, man, just set your stuff up, man. First client come in, I'm gonna have you cut him. First walk in, come in, man, you cut him. So walk in comes in, I cut him, boom, boom, boom. Finish. He's like, well, when can you start? I said, shit, you tell me. He said, oh, you start tomorrow. I was like, bet. I hit up that lady and I said, hey, I just want to let you know I ain't gonna be able to come in tomorrow. I just got this job over here at this barbershop, you know what I'm saying, across the street. She was like, usually when people intern with me, they got to give me a 2 weeks notice, but because I like you, I'll go ahead and let you go. So boom, the next day I started. When I went in there that day, a few of the barbers came up to me and they was like, are you starstruck? You get starstruck? I was like, nah. They was like, all right, just want to let you know because a lot of them come in here. So boom, next thing I know, they was coming in. Fast forward, I'm still working part-time at Walgreens and I'm working at this barbershop. So I would usually leave around 5 o'clock. The owner told me, he said, listen, man, because you know I'm pretty much paying $300 boot rent. I'm getting my money from Walgreens to basically pay boot rent. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Exactly.
He was like, listen, man, you be leaving at the time when the people be coming in. You got to make a decision on what it is you want to do. You got to take that leap, whatever it is you're trying to do. So I decided, you know what? I'm done with Walgreens. I'm not done with Walgreens, but I'm going to basically change up my shift. I think I was done. I think I quit. And I said, I quit. And I was pretty much there, open to close. Now, fast forward. Keep in mind, this is like March 2011. I was in an 8-year relationship, bro, back in St. Louis. Lived in Overland. Me and my ex lived in Overland, all that shit. I left the relationship. I wanted to, because I was like, man, it's one of those things. It's like, do I want to basically, you know what I'm saying, continue this relationship and have, be married, have kids, and be sitting in my recliner at age 60, 7 years old, wondering what if I did go, or do I want to just take that leap of faith and just go? So anyway, I told her anyway, so I left. She came out to visit me that summer for like a week, whatever, and just to see what I was on. We was out there. I'll never forget, man. We went out to Manhattan Beach, and we was at the ocean, and the sun was setting over the mountains. We looking around. We got our feet in the sand. It's dark. Stars is out. Moon is out. Sun setting. Perfect view. I said, damn, look at this. Ain't this beautiful? She said, yeah. She said, wow. Yeah, it is. So when you coming back?
Damn.
I knew.
Damn.
And that's when I knew.
Yeah.
That's when I knew.
That wasn't your path right there. Yeah.
Because I began to realize there is no limit to this journey. I got to basically live in the journey, right? If I want something to crack. That was in July 2011. I'll say fast forward, man, October 2011, let's say 2 or 3 months later, I'm in the shop chilling. The owner of the shop, he's like, hey, Skip. I said, yeah. He said, Blair Underwood's coming in at 5:30 and you cutting him.
Come on now.
All right. Blair comes in. He comes in. He's like, yeah, I'm here for Skip. I was at my station. I said, yeah, I'm over here. He walks up to him. He says, you Skip? I was like, yeah. We dapped up, start cutting his hair. I'm in the chair, first time cutting. I'm like geeking, like nigga, like nigga, Crush Groove, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? LA Law. My mama would watch LA Law, like, you know what I'm saying? My mama would watch LA Law and be like, all right, y'all, it's time for y'all to get ready, do y'all homework. Here I am. This dude's in my. Keep in mind, I'm remembering back looking at the Crush Groove album cover. This is one of my first hip hop albums I had on vinyl, and looking at the back and seeing everybody on the front cover, seeing Fat Boys, Sheila E., Run DMC, Curtis Blow, seeing all them on the front cover. But I'm like, but who is this dude in the middle? And then you flip the back and read it, and it says introducing Blair Underwood. So to have this man sitting in my chair and I'm cutting him and I'm like asking him these questions. And anyway, so we just maintained he became a client. And so he would come to see me. Fast forward 2 years later, what was it? He had a show on NBC called Ironside where he was in a wheelchair. And he asked me, he said, would you be my, he said, I just want to know, would you be my barber for the show? And I was like, hell yeah. And
that's a fact.
And so shit. And so, I mean, I went in, started cutting them for that show. And I couldn't cut him on the set because I was in union. So when I got into his trailer and I cut him, then we walk over to set. So keep in mind, this particular day, I'm walking out the trailer with him. I think Lou Diamond Phillips was right next to me.
Damn.
I'm walking in between them. We walk into the set.
Bamba.
And this girl, this lady named Sheila, she walks up to me. She's like, she says, "Hey, Blair, blah, blah, blah." And she looked at me and she said, "You ever thought about joining the union?" I said, "Yeah, where I sign up at?" She's like, "No, it's not that simple, but that's something that you should be looking into." And so that's where my journey into becoming where I am in the TV and film industry as a barber, hairstylist. That's where it began.